What would Bonnie Iver do? Someone else that helped out on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Lost in the world.
And surprise drop his new album I. It dropped in an interesting way. um he had already kind of picked a date later on in the month to drop this, and he just kind of started posting tracks until finally he was like, here's the whole thing. And I was happy he did, because, well, I wanted to have more to talk about in the pod this week, frankly, but also I was actually looking forward to this. We talked about 22 a million back in 2016, and I think our take on it was it's a lot to digest. It's very obscure.
Track names are dumb.
Yeah. And he kind of continues that a little bit on this, or Bonnie Iver, the band does, but really it's Justin Vernon's vehicle for his own mood, or however you want to describe it. But I found this album so much more enjoyable than 22 a million, and it feels a little bit like a return to where Bonnie Iver started with For Emma Forever Ago back in 2008. Before we get too far into what we liked or didn't like, how are you feeling about it? You like it?
Yeah, I did like it. This was actually really unexpected for me. I was just kind of throwing it on, and the way I threw it on is I made a playlist of all the songs he put out, because, as you said, he just released them all as singles at first, and it was everything except the intro track. A day later, he puts it out as a full album release on streaming. So I went on Genius. I was like, what's the order of this? Let me put this in order so I can listen to this. Let me download this. And I was like, it was actually kind of fun to have to be more manual about it. So that's what I did. And yeah, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, all right, some of these songs are just kind of weird, warbly, folky shit that's not for me, what I expect from Bonnie Iver. So I just let it go. And then there's some other songs. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually pretty sick. I'm surprised I like this much, given where my tastes usually lie. So yeah, this is by far my favorite Bonnie Iver. Now that says much of anything. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot of it.
Yeah, Bonnie Iver is really interesting because they are such a mysterious band in a sense, almost. Like you said, their track names sometimes don't make sense. Even the way Justin Vernon sings a lot of the time, you can't understand exactly what he's saying, and you're trying to like decipher it. The lyrics don't always make sense. Yeah, Bonnie Iver and Blueface, the next hot collab for sure. But as I was listening to this, I think what I liked more about this album was it seems a little bit more straightforward. Something like Skinny Love, where Bonnie Iver first really blew up back in 2008. That's a song that doesn't really mince words. It doesn't leave you questioning too much. And the songwriting on this, and the clarity in Justin Vernon's vocal delivery, just really seems like he's either more confident or in a space where what he's writing about, what he's singing about, is coming from a more assured space. And it really, I think, shown through to make this album just a more cohesive and a lot more enjoyable listen than something like 22 a million, which is so, I don't know, it's like a Jackson Pollock in a lot of ways. It might be good, but it's just like, what am I really looking at
here? Yeah, I think that's well said.
Tell me about the songs that you liked.
Yeah, I had three that really stood out to me. A few of these were already out before this big drop, obviously. We, You Man Like, and Naeem.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought You Man Like to stood out to me, just, being upbeat and more, just more engaging for me. Songs like Big Popular, arguably one of the three biggest Bonnie Iver songs. Holocene, is it? Yeah, that shit does nothing for me. Like that's the kind of shit I just don't want to hear, just because it's too soft, too mellow for me. But these songs I thought were certainly not that. And then Naeem in particular, or Naeem, however you say it, man, I like that voice. I thought that warble actually was really nice. There's good acoustic guitar in there, then the piano keys come in. Then at the end, there's a lot of nice drums. Really like that production. That's really layered. And that song kind of reminds you why Justin Vernon's such a impressive composer. just
Yeah.
because there's a lot going on in a song like that. So those are three that stood out to me. What else did you like?
Yeah, I think you really talked about the major ones for me. I thought the closer, Rabbi, was pretty good. I also like the song before the closer,
Shida,
Shdia,
Shidia.
Shida. What I really like Shadia is it reminded me, especially in the ending, it has this like long saxophone outro basically. It reminded me a lot of like a Joni Mitchell song in a lot of senses. It had this very like folky feeling. It created this airiness to it, and then it had this long horn section or horn solo to really end it. I was like, huh, seems like he's really pulling some inspiration from. He's such a modern, or the Bon Iver such a modern group that to pull from a legend like that, or at least kind of steal a little bit of that sound was cool. Yeah, just looking through the credits, he had a couple of big name people collaborating with him on this, but the only one that I really noticed, I think, was Moses Sumney,
Right.
who I'm trying to remember which song it was. I think he was on uh, IMI, which I thought was a pretty good song. I really enjoyed the whole list, and I think cohesively the album flows together really well. But I do agree that there's certain songs that stick out. Hey Ma, the single from this, I think immediately becomes one of probably Bon Iver's best songs, up there with like Holocene, things like that. But yeah, overall, just a really, really impressive uh, drop, fourth album from Bon Iver. Um, I'm hoping, I would really like to see uh, him do a little bit more producing moving forward, because he kind of comes in and out, but I feel like the touch he has, and you talked about like the way he assembles songs and composes them, is just really impressive. And he works really well with hip hop. Strangely, we were just talking about him on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, so I'd like to see him do a little bit more of that as well. But I'm sure we'll be hearing from Justin Vernon and Bon Iver more